They say that success leaves clues, and one of the main things I notice a whole bunch of successful people who have found their path or their calling have in common is that they go through a period of gaining it all and then losing it all and then gaining it back. And if you're in that losing season right now where you've lost it all and you have to rebuild, I just want you to know that it's part of your story. And in this moment, and I'm going through this right now, so I want to be as transparent as possible. In the moment, it just seems impossible to contemplate. You could have swore up and down that when you started the journey that you would never be one of those people who ended up in that situation where you lost everything. You would never be someone who would have to go back to what you were doing before. And I'll use the example of working a job, right? From myself, I've always been someone who couldn't stand a job, couldn't work a 9 to 5. I hated it throughout my entire life. Ever since I was 16 or 17, man, it's been something that I've despised. I'd stay at a job, and I know this may be a lot of people's story, but I stay at a job for 2-3 months, quit. Stay at a job for a day, quit. Get fired 2 weeks in, stop showing up, right? And then you find you're out. Maybe something works for you, right? Maybe social media works for you, or YouTube. Maybe your business starts making you money. And then it doesn't, or you make a mistake, a major mistake that costs you your business or costs you your main source of income. And now it feels like you're starting over again, right back at square one. But with the knowledge and the experience that you had from the previous things. My example was crypto. Around 2021, I believe it was, in November, I'll never forget, I was working a work from home job. I was working for Verizon at the time, and I was just taking boring ass customer service calls. And it's crazy because I'll give y'all some lore real quick. It was crazy because a couple years ago, I would always move the goalpost, right? Because you think that it'll get better if you can just make the certain job or whatever it is that you hate into a more favorable option. And that's not the case. I would say things to myself and try to negotiate, try to trick my brain, my body, or my soul to enjoy these things. And I would say, oh, well, you know what? I can, if I can just get a job closer to home, I'll be happy and I'll stop complaining. Surely that will quiet my soul screaming down a bit about this not being my purpose or what I'm destined to be doing, right? And I would get a job closer to home, and the feeling was the exact same. I used to have to drive an hour and a half to work, and then I reduced that down to 15 minutes, and the feeling was still the same. A little bit happier, but nowhere near what I wanted. The same thing when I got the job working from home. I remember saying to myself, I said, God, if I could just get a job working from home, I'll never complain again. And man, I think God has a sense of humor, and if he could, he'd probably laugh at me, probably come down and laugh. If he wanted to, he'd probably come down and laugh at me and say, that was a lie. And I remember saying, if I could just get a work from home job, I would never ever complain ever again. I swear to you. And I landed one. I got the Verizon job, and my PC was set up right beside this one I'm recording on right now. And it was crazy because I was supposed to be in the tech department, but I know I'm getting off track, but I was in the tech department. I was supposed to be, but I was only getting customer service calls. So I don't know if my line was glitched, but I was in a group of people that were supposed to be getting tech calls because we were getting paid as tech support. So I was making, at that time really good, like $23, $24 an hour starting. And I was supposed to be having technical calls, but I was just getting nothing but people calling, asking about their bill and random, stuff that was easy, for like a one-click solution. And I remember at the end of my first shift by myself after training was done, and, I took calls throughout the day, took my lunch break. I got up from the PC I just put my head down and like I just screamed, "What is wrong with me?" Because I still wasn't happy. Like I still felt the same exact way that I felt when I was having to drive an hour and 45 minutes to work and be around a whole bunch of people I don't like and know, and drive in the cold and learn all this extra shit I didn't want to like. It was an easy, cushy, comfy, laid back, relaxed on your PC or on their PC right next to my bed. My dog was here, right? And I was still miserable. It didn't matter. I was still miserable. And like I said, I got sidetracked a bit, but what happened was that my friend hit me up, never forget, November of 2021. And he said, "Hey man, we should get into crypto. It's booming right now. I found a project we should get into." I said, "Okay, cool." And that changed my life for a short amount of time. We turned 200 into 5,000 or something. We turned 400 into 40,000. I quit my job the next week and I was happy, right? I didn't, of course, 40,000 wasn't going to be enough to, retire or nothing, but I was going to say I'd figure it out from here. And like, I guess most noob people or most dumbasses that start in crypto, I did not sell out. I watched my 40K sit in that project and watched it diminish from 40 to 30 to 20 to 10 to 5 all the way down to $1. And for some reason, being brand new to crypto and that being my first experience, I thought that it would eventually just go back up. And that wasn't the case. But I was off of work for about 2 years. I had taken out like 5 or 10,000 of that profit and paid my bills in advance. And I said all that to say this. I know that was a long story, but when you're going through this journey of uncertainty that entrepreneurship and trying to make yourself free or successful, whatever your goals are, it's almost inevitable to have those periods of loss. Those periods that you gain everything and you think that this is the big break, right? You think this is the big break. This is the moment that I'm going to make it, and then lose it. And you fall into even deeper feelings of sadness and despair and all that because you think that this is the end. This is the end all be all. This is like I had my chance and now it's gone. I'll never get a chance like that again. Or now I have to go right back to working. And that's what I've had to do. I've had to go right back to working a job and it sucks, right? It sucks. But I wanted to make this video as a way of hope for people to say that this is just the pattern. This is just what you're going through right now. This is just the standard. Like this is the standard entrepreneurial journey or entrepreneurial curve, right? And for me, like I said, it was crypto, but I've also made money online as well, selling digital products and having social media and stuff like that, YouTube monetization. There are hundreds, millions of ways to get paid. And so, yeah, I don't know who this story is going to resonate with, if this makes sense. And I know I deviated a little bit from the main point with that example, but just know that making these mistakes on your climb up is normal. Having that feeling is normal. And that's the point I want to stress heavily, is that feeling that you have that something is wrong with you is a valid feeling, but the focus of that feeling is wrong, meaning that it's not you that has a problem. It's difficult to explain to someone who will never understand it. And if you're like me, there's no point in trying to explain it to people who aren't going to care or understand until they see the results of it. You have family, you have friends, you got everyone around you. You're going against the majority, and being in the minority means that you're going to be looked at as the weird one. And that's okay. That's something you have to accept. People just don't seem to understand, or they don't seem to get why you're so upset about not wanting to work a job or not wanting to do whatever it is you're doing. And the only way that you can describe it is it's just something in your soul. It's difficult to describe. Some days, most days, I wish that feeling wasn't there. Some days I wish that feeling didn't exist. I say to myself, man, I wish I could be normal. Why? This is so frustrating. Going in this endless loop of uncertainty, of not knowing what the hell is going to happen, of what is the next adventure I'm going to go on, if that's what you want to call it, of gaining stuff, of losing stuff, of trying to focus on too many businesses at the same time, trying to see which one is going to work, or testing and failing and testing and failing and testing and succeeding a little bit. You get tired and you say to yourself, man, this shit, I'm not supposed to be going through this. Or the best way I can describe it is that, and I don't want to make it sound as if me or you are the chosen ones, but it's like you have a calling. You have something on your life that you're trying to escape. And whatever you believe in, religion, no religion, but whatever you believe in, there's something within you that's telling you that whatever you're doing is wrong. I like to use the analogy that just like how your body will give you signals if something is wrong, like if you're sick or you have a pain in your side or something, that's your body's way of communicating to you that something is wrong. And even if that pain is irritating and you're just like, what is this pain? Like, what is this feeling? This hurts. I hate this. This is annoying. I want this to go away. What your body is doing is letting you know there's something wrong right here that you need to fix before it gets worse. And of course, you go to the doctor to get that checked out. That's your body's alarm system to let you know. And isn't it amazing that we have that? Because imagine if we didn't have that, a lot of us would be dead before we even realize it. In the same way, if you're feeling that feeling, when you have to go to your job, you have to do shit that you don't want to do, you don't care about doing, and it bothers you so much, it causes you so much mental pain and anguish and suffering. You're going through the ups and the downs, gaining it, losing it. That is your body's or your soul's way of letting you know that something is wrong and that this is not to be accepted. And you can try everything in the world to subdue that feeling. It won't work. It won't work. Like I said, it's as normal as your body letting you know that you're getting sick. If your body's normal, your body's going to let you know that you're getting sick, whether you like it or not. You will have symptoms. In the same way, this feeling that something is off is an indication that you have something bigger and more important that you should be focusing on doing, or that you're not fulfilled or have not found your purpose or are not working towards your purpose, but you know what it is. And there's a calling on your life, whether you want to accept it or not. It will always be there. And this is not reassuring, but it'll get worse. It'll get worse. I can promise you. The longer that you try to put it off and deny it, the worse it'll get. Because you see, with most people, I know I'm rambling now, but with most people, if they ignore it long enough, it goes away. I've heard some crazy things. I've watched some videos of people say things that it got so bad that they just took antidepressants. They just started taking random crazy drugs and just doing crazy stuff, and it still didn't work. Or sometimes it worked for people, it made them so sleepy or down that they forgot about it or whatever. But that's not going to be the case with you, Chief. It's just not. No matter what you do in that particular aspect, you cannot change. You know that you're meant for more. And you know the longer that you delay it, the worse it's going to get. And that voice in your head, that whisper, over the years, it's just going to get louder and louder and louder until it's screaming at you, and it's not going to turn down. So yeah, I know this video is like a random video. This video is going to be uploaded on a brand new account. So hello, everybody. If anyone sees this video, I appreciate it. And I'll probably title this video something like, you're on the right path. That sounds good. Or if you've lost everything, you need to watch this. One last thing I want to end off with is that deep down, you'll know that everything will turn out okay if, and here's the big if, you make it that way. You understand that the destiny that you have set in place for you is something that you cannot escape, you cannot run away from, and that you know you will eventually achieve the things that you've set out to do for yourself, but only if you put in the work. I don't want you to think that everything will turn out okay like the movies simply because you hope it will. If you do that, you'll just become another one of the people who could have, would have, or should have been, but never became. So stay locked in, focus back up on whatever it is you need to be doing, and do it. And just as fast as you gained it and lost it, you'll gain it back. This feeling you're going through right now of pain is nothing but a blip in the radar of time. And you will achieve success soon enough. But just put in the work. All in due time.